Played this in with Serato Sampler. So it's like... That's the backbone of the tune. That just rolls the whole way through. But there's something about that like doom, do-doom. So with no plugins, this is how it sounds. Missing something, so initially I ran it through some overdrive. Then some EQ. There's like a in one of the cowbell things, which I'm just ducking out. That. You know, I can toggle them on and off, I think. Just makes it a bit easier to listen to and means you can turn it up. Then it goes into an Ozone 9 imager, which is like a stereo enhancer. Like, I use this a lot. If I want to boost the highs and widen something like a shaker or a tambourine or even a reverb, I'll put stereoize on mode 2 and just crank that. That's a nice little stereo trick. Big kick, you've seen it before. Really short, punchy one. I think I automate this to get longer and shorter. And then more. Basic rule, if you've got an insanely legato, constant, long bass line, you do not need a kick going doom, doom, doom over that as well, you know. The bass line in this song goes boom, 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 boom. It's like constant. So you just need very short, clicky, punchy kick. I've got 2 kicks in this tune. One doing the punch, and one doing the top end. Some people like huge, long kick drums. Deadmau5 uses a lot of like doo, doo, doo. Eric Prydz as well, you know. The kick is like much more of like what's driving the sub of the track. I use it much more sparingly, like much more like a punchy thing. I like UK Garage, and UK Garage, sometimes the kick drum is barely even hitting 100 hertz. It's just this little like, and then the bass line underneath is what's giving you all of that like chest feeling. So depends. If you're going for a really 4/4 housey track, you might want like a nice long kick. It's subjective. It's whatever the tune needs. Did the Cutline D&B kick come as an add-on with Big Kick, or did you load the sampling? I think it comes as an add-on. Yeah, you can get them all from Plugin Boutique. Nice shakers, these ones. But yeah, if you're panning shakers left and right and they're the same shaker, you'll get a bit of stereo-ness from obviously just the difference in the way it was played. But I find the best thing to do is left and right 2 different shakers, or a shaker and a tambourine or whatever, and just gives you such a wider sound. 3 actually. As you can hear, they're all sort of a different frequency range. So one is more and one is more, and then they're panned left, right, and one down the middle. Huge overdrive as well on shakers. I love to distort and overdrive the hell out of my shakers and tambourines. Gives them so much fullness. Just brings out all that nice like underneath, you know. There's some transient masters on here as well. Just tightening them up using the B setting on the EMT 140. About a second's worth of reverb. I like to use Valhalla on individual tracks and a big plate reverb on the bus. What happens at the drop? Yeah. Some clicks and claps. This is quite cool. So those are all sending to bus 16. Interestingly, I've got a tremolo after it, which is making the reverb do 16th notes. And then give it a little bit of tremolo, and you have this weird... Reverb's such a funny one because, you know, it can add so much space, but it can also add groove if you use it in the right way. This is what it'd be like with no preverb. Just not as good. Pre-delay I've talked about before on reverb is so important, but if you're using it on claps, you know, you can really make it go like or whatever rhythm you want to do. Like I could push this loads, you know. Think about how it's adding groove, you know, not just how it's adding space. I think I hear a 909 hi-hat going up and down in pitch. Where's that idea come from? I have added that in within battery. LFO1 is controlling the pitch of that sound. I can make it go crazy if you want. For me, it makes it just feel a little bit more analog, like something's a bit wrong, you know, with the 909. Like it's just the pitch knob's a bit or whatever. It just makes it feel a little bit less sample, 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 sample every time. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, a 909 traditionally does just hold its pitch, but I like to do that with ride cymbals and cymbals. Like a lot of people do it with pan, you know, maybe a ride cymbal slowly pans left and right. I like to do it with pitch too. Sometimes even release. So it's like, so it just makes it all feel a bit more alive. The bass definitely needed rolling off because it's fucking massive. You can just see down here, there's some stuff. Have a look. This is pure, the speaker's just going to be doing that, you know. It's not even going to be making a note. You don't need that stuff down there, so I just rolled it off a bit. Bringing out those high, like, clicky details. So yeah, I love those. Those da-dum could so easily have been dum da-dum 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 da-dum, but then instead of going like dum da-dum 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 dum dum, like they're so out of time, but I love them because when it's being sidechained, that kind of glues it in anyway and brings it all together. It's just such a raw track, man. Like there was no way I was ever going to quantize that or you know, make it better because it's just sick. Next up, Decapitator. I'm actually automating it throughout the track. So you see here these rises and falls. That's the wet and dry knob of the Decapitator. Because we recorded the audio in of this synth, I didn't then have the ability to go back and increase the cutoff or the resonance or anything like that. You know, it was just, we got one good take, and then I was like, I really wish I could build the bass up. So I thought I'll put overdrive on it, run it really hard, and I'll use that as a kind of way of pretending like I'm releasing the cutoff. If I could go back and choose between cutoff and the overdrive, I'd still pick the overdrive thing every day. Another little tip, saturation overdrive as substitute for cutoff. Soul State do a great job at editing these down, so shouts to Soul State. I think a lot of people are getting a lot of info and tips from that, so that's fucking great. Hit down.